This is the plaintiff, Jean Linden. She says this is simply a case of a landlord taking advantage of a tenant, and she's here to fight for all tenants' rights. The man is stealing her security deposit for no reason. He thinks he's going to be able to get away with it, and she's here to show him he can't. She's suing for $3,200, the amount that is rightfully hers. This is the defendant, Mark Gerstill. He says the plaintiff broke her lease, moved out early, and used the security to cover the month he didn't have a new tenant. The plaintiff's a beautiful person. She left the apartment in perfect condition, but he has every right to use her security to cover his losses and thinks the judge will concur. He's accused of taking a lady's security.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant is a security deposit thief, but the defendant says the plaintiff is a model tenant, but she screwed something up, so now she has to pay. It's the case of Mo Money, please.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Linden, you are suing your former landlord, Mr. Gerstill.
Yes, ma'am.
For $3,200, representing a security deposit that you put on a condo you rented from him, and he refuses to return. Okay,
Yes, that's
tell me
true.
what happened.
Okay, I signed a lease for the condo from June 1st, 2013 to May 31st, 2015. Now, I gave, at the time of the lease signing, 3 checks, all in the amount of $3,150 each. Check number 1 was in payment of the first month's rent. Check number 2 was in payment of the second month's rent, and check number 3 was a security check for the
Okay.
apartment. Now, as of June 1st, Mr. Gerstill informed me that the rental was going to be $3,200.
Okay, but hold on one second.
Yes.
Do you have your lease?
Yes, I do.
Let me see it.
It's thick, but
You had a 2-year lease?
a 2-year lease, yes.
So how could he raise the rent if you had a 2-year lease?
Well, he just told me that there was an...
Did she have a 2-year lease?
Yes.
Oh, I got it. It's $3,150 for year 1 and $3,200 for year 2. All right, so then he informs you of what your lease is that you signed.
No, that I owed him $50 more. So I gave him $50 check, and I have proof of that, 2 $50 checks.
Yeah, he doesn't dispute that in fact, the security deposit at play right now is $3,200. You don't dispute that.
No, I don't.
Right, okay, so go on.
Then that need not be...
Go on,
continued.
so then what happens?
Okay. As of November 2014, I notified Mr. Gerstill that I would not be renewing the apartment because the new rent that he wanted was $3,400.
Did you really notify her 8 months before the event that you would be raising the rent to $3,400?
Nope.
Yeah, because I can't imagine what would be in it for a landlord to do that, but people do stupid things every day. Do you have that paper?
I think that on one of the sheets in the lease, it said that the rent would go up to $3,400 at the end of the lease term of 2 years.
It does. It says
It does?
exactly that, yeah. Yeah, you're wrong. You did notify her on the day she signed the contract. All right, so you look at it, you don't want to pay that, so you decide that you're going to leave.
Okay, so I asked him, and we agreed that if he were able to sublet or to get another tenant, then I would vacate the premises earlier.
Okay.
So he rented the apartment, and he...
When did he rent the apartment? When were the new people moving in?
May.
May what?
Middle of April, rather, I'm sorry. Middle of April.
Okay. Do you have any proof of what you just said?
Yes.
Any of the
My
many
witness is
things
right
you
here.
just
He's
said?
sitting
Who's
right
that
next to me.
gentleman there?
The gentleman is a friend of mine. I will tell you why he's here, in addition to that. When I vacated the apartment, Mr. Gerstill came up that day, and he assured me that he would have 2 weeks is what he needed to get the apartment ready for his tenants.
Right.
So I invited Mr. Pierre Venanzi.
According to him, you left the place impeccable. That's not the issue here either. Okay. What is the issue here? Why won't you return her $3,200?
Because she paid her last rent on the 23rd month. There were 3 checks involved.
Meaning what month?
April.
So April was paid at the beginning of the lease that way?
I'm not contesting.
Right, that's what I want to figure out. And then what? She didn't pay May.
That's correct.
Okay, and according to you, the apartment was empty in May.
That's correct.
According to her, though, you had told her that the apartment was rented in mid-April.
If I said it, I don't remember it.
Can you tell me when you rented the place?
Yes, it was rented as of May 15th.
The people moved in May 15th?
Yes.
If the people moved in May 15th, why are you trying to get all of the rent from her and half of the rent from them? Then you're enriched.
I'm willing.
Yeah, but you didn't. You didn't write her a check
No,
for
I didn't.
half of it.
No, I
But
didn't.
you've just admitted that you aren't out that second half.
Okay, let me, if I may, okay?
Please do.
So she bails, and the landlord re-rents the place. The question, can the landlord kind of get twice the profit, keep the security, and get money from the new tenant?
Yeah, if the old tenant broke the lease, certainly.
Is that right? Basically, the landlord can get paid twice?
Yes.
Paid twice, no problem.
Yes.
Okay, you seemed unsure the second time, going inside the courtroom.
I got a letter from the management company saying that the lease was over, and I went over to Jean, and I said, Jean, are you going to renew?
So she says, I'm not going to renew.
She says, I'm not going to renew. I
And
said,
then
fine.
you say what?
I said, fine.
Okay.
I said to her, if you want to move out, move out.
Okay.
Okay.
At any point in time, did you ask her to move out because people were coming in mid-April?
No, I didn't have a tenant until mid-April, and they didn't move in.
Until mid-May?
Yes,
May I see the lease?
yes.
Hand it over.
It shows April 15th to...
Right.
Okay.
Not
But
May, April.
they didn't move in until...
But the evidence I'm looking at shows that they would be obligated to pay you.
Okay, okay. But as I'm saying, Your Honor, she said to me she has to move back to Florida.
Okay, we're done. I don't
Okay.
know how done you know we are, but when I see the lease, God bless you, because it's not like he's trying to hide this from me. He just found it and gave it to me. I don't know if maybe you were confused about what dates were on here, maybe when you were, but I do know that you were overreaching, not returning at least half of it, even according to your own testimony now. And then I know that your testimony is contradicted by the actual lease, which does go from April 15th. Which would mean that you got extra in April.
No.
But if that's what you negotiated in order to get out early of a lease, then that's what you negotiated. As for the 3,200 security deposit, you may not use it for rent based on the fact that it looks like you're not out any rent. Because if anything, you made an extra half-month rent. So no. I'm ordering you to return the $3,200. Verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
So the defendant's own testimony and evidence cost him a case. Here, step in a little bit. What's your reaction to what just happened?
She's right, but there are other mitigating circumstances that I couldn't bring in.
She's right. All right, so you sue for $3,200 and you get $3,200.
Mm-hmm.
What are you interrupting the judge when she's ruling in your favor for?
I was just overwhelmed.
You're overwhelmed? You're happy? Tell us how it feels.
I feel that I've gotten rid of a headache for many months. I've tried to reach him 6 months of futility, of lies, of everything. And it's been absolute chaos for something that should never have been.
Well, you got it done.
Thank you.
Harvey?
Okay, warning to landlords, if you unreasonably withhold a security deposit from a tenant after the tenant moves, you can be socked for double and in some cases triple the amount that you wrongfully withheld.